Okay, guys, we're going to get started. My name is Sharon Farb. I am the Associate University Librarian for Collection Management and Scholarly Communication here at the UCLA Library. And my role today is to welcome everyone to this wonderful event on behalf of Gary Strong, the University Librarian, and all of us here. Welcome. Thank you. We're thrilled to have Susana Baca in honor of International Women's Day. We love how the room looks. We love everyone that's in the room, those that will come and join us. All right, so without further ado, let me introduce Mei Li, and then we'll get going. So Professor Blackwell is in the Cesar Chavez Department of Chicana and Chicano Studies and Women's Studies, and also the Native American Studies here at UCLA. Her forthcoming book, entitled Retrofitted Memory, Contested Histories of Feminism in the Chicano Movement, will be out soon. And when it does, you'll have to come back and give a book talk on that. We would really, and well, that's right. We'll have to decorate again. So we look forward to that. She has accompanied indigenous women's organizers in Mexico, Latin America, feminist movements, and sexual rights activists, and is working on a project on women's cross-border organizing and community formations that include recent field work with farm worker women and indigenous migrants that seek to better understand new forms of grassroots transnationalism. She received her PhD in the History of Consciousness program at the University of California, Santa Cruz, another esteemed banana slug in our midst. So without further ado, let me bring up Mei Li, and she will.
So welcome to a really special International Women's Day event. We have a lot of old friends and new friends in the crowd. And we're celebrating International Women's Day, which was founded in 1909 here in the U.S. And it commemorates, in part, a very tragic fire in the Triangle Shirt Factory that killed over 140 immigrant seamstress garment worker women. And so, but the U.S. doesn't tend to celebrate International Women's Day like it's celebrated all over Latin America, all over the world. So today we're coming together to hold the space for International Women's Day, but also to join the thousands and thousands of other women in the world who are celebrating today. And really, we've internationalized this room, and you might notice this is the first time there's ever been paper flowers and a different look in the library. So we're really excited about that. And before I want to thank the sponsors and introduce Susana Baca, but I want to introduce you to the two presenting organizations first, since it's they're kind of re-inaugurating. And one's inaugurating, one's re-inaugurating, so it's a celebration of many new faces. And so first, to introduce the MALCS de UCLA, the Mujeres Activas en Letras y Cambio Social, or Women Active in Letters and Social Change chapter of UCLA. I'm going to ask Rosie Bermudez to step up. Step to the mic, Rosie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for coming to celebrate International Women's Day with us. As Dr. Blackwell said, MOX stands for Mujeres Activas en Letras y Cambio Social, or Women Active in Letters and Social Change. And MOX was founded in 1982 at UC Davis, and it served as a academic support network for Chicana, Latina, and Native American women. Okay, sorry, I got to breathe right quick. Or now, better, okay. So the organization originally had regional chapters, but has since formed campus-based chapters. And the MOX de UCLA chapter was founded in 2004 by a group of vibrant women, some of which I see in this room right now. So, yeah, there's some veteranas in the house. So, and it was among one of the first of its kind as a student chapter. And the MOX de UCLA chapter served as a support network for women of color students here on campus. And however, despite the organization coming together in 2006, it became inactive on campus. We were still active, but just not on campus.
And graduated.
Yeah, like waves in the ocean, like ondas. So this year, with the initiative of Dr. Mayday Blackwell, the MALCS de UCLA chapter is being revived by a group of awesome women who have worked really hard to help put this event together. And with that, I would like to plug our next event, which is going to be on April 5th. And there's flyers in the back. Pay no attention to the typo, okay? And they're going to be on the back table outside of the doors. And we also have some recuerdos or memories, little posters that the Compañía Ewan made. So please get them. They're rolled up. You just ask for them. And we are also going to be circulating this tablet for those of you who are interested in future MOX events or if you're interested in joining the chapter. Thank you so much.
So I also want to ask Mzilikazi Kone to come up and talk a little bit about the Gender and Interculturalities Working Group. So these are the two groups. We found out less than maybe 3 weeks ago that Susana Baca was available, and so both groups hustled incredibly, trying to bring sponsorships in this time of budget cuts, and you know how hard it is to come up with money. That's why we'd really like to feature both groups, and so Mzilikazi.
Hello. How are you all feeling? I feel all this woman power in the room. I'm really happy to be here. So as we celebrate International Women's Day, this is a really momentous event for all of us to be here and share in this wonderful gathering, right? So I want to explain to you a little bit about this organization, this working group, the Gender and Interculturalities Working Group. This recently formed group has brought together faculty, postdoctoral and visiting scholars, and graduate students interested in building a shared intellectual space to study the dynamic of ways that race, ethnicity, and indigeneity in Latin America and the Caribbean are experienced. We are a cross-regional working group that focuses on the movement and cultural formations of indigenous and Afro-descendant peoples through the lens of gender and sexuality. We explore the framework of interculturality, which has gained currency as an analytic category that supersedes nationalist ideas of a unified subject by underlining that cultures have their own personality and should interact on an open and reciprocal plane. This central tenet of interculturality has been especially relevant to changes in institutions of higher learning, where indigenous people and Afro-descendant peoples have historically been excluded. This model we use takes us away from the traditional views of culture as closed, unchanging, and separate, and moves beyond representations that maintain power relations between two cultures and otherness. We seek to engage with, to create, and explore theoretical foundations, research methodologies, and activist practices that center the theme of interculturalities, not only as a tool that helps us to understand difference, but as a conjecture of knowledge and practices generated by the movements and cultures that we study and are often connected to. A framework of interculturality is especially important as we come together to celebrate International Women's Day. It helps provide an understanding for how we share our culture and gendered experiences. Today's event provides an opportunity to exchange knowledge and experience of culture not only in the academic realm, but we acknowledge the role and expression of cultures in creating and asserting both our collective voices and acts of resistance. So in this vein, as part of the working group, we're really very excited to be a part of this energy and movement around this event, and as we continue to grow in the future here at UCLA. Thank you.
So our celebration today with Susana Baca is called Music as Healing, Resistance, and Transformation. And in that spirit, there's many organizations who have committed to help bring Susana Baca here. So I wanted to thank the Cesar E. Chavez Department of Chicana and Chicano Studies who offered their sponsorship. In addition, the Center for the Study of Race, Ethnicity, and Politics, the World Arts and Cultures Department, the Chicano Studies Research Center, the UCLA Latin American Institute, the Charles E. Young Library has provided this great space that we're transforming with all our energy and art. And finally, Mujeres de Maíz is a really powerful community organization who brought Susana Baca for their International Women's Day event last night, their 13th anniversary event, and that was the reason why we were able to bring her. So we're really, really pleased to introduce Susana Baca, who will be in the room shortly. She's a key figure in the revival of Afro-Peruvian culture and has transformed and used music to really bring about the roots of the African roots of Peru, but also to transform the national culture there to help people realize the importance of this kind of overlooked and forgotten part of Peruvian heritage. In 1995, she produced The Soul of Black Peru, which was a compilation album that made the world music scene. And her song, Maria Lando, was featured, and that's the song she became known for, and I think she may perform it later today. In 2005, her album Lamento Negro won the Grammy Award. She's in folk music. She's a Grammy Award-winning artist. She grew up in a fishing village outside of Lima in Peru, and she names cultural tensions, right, that have been a source of pain in the Americas for centuries, naming slavery and the heritage of enslavement, but also the beautiful resistance cultures that were produced by it. So she says that she takes both old and new traditions and makes something new. And since the theme of today is healing, I wanted to share a quote from her. She says, interpreting the new and old traditional songs in a different new way is my greatest goal. This is one that unites old and new, all that is ours in an unending story. Who are sitting in the back, there's lots of room up here. Please come join us. Gracias para venir. ¿Usted please?
Gracias. Buenas tardes. Disculpen la demora, pero nos queda en el otro lado y hemos venido lo más rápido posible. Allá, claro.
Good evening, everyone. She apologizes for.
Yo nací a periodista.
She likes the flowers. That's why she wanted to. She is thankful for having been invited to this event. And she just apologized for being a bit behind, but we're on the other side, east side of LA, so we literally have to travel across Los Angeles.
Y es muy emocionante que me toque en esa universidad que vine hace unos años a hacer una presentación de mi trabajo, como unos 5 o 6 años atrás.
It's exciting for her to come back to this university. She was here, she thinks like 5 to 6 years ago, doing a presentation.
Y es muy emocionante llegar hoy día, precisamente, hoy, 8 de marzo, y estar aquí con ustedes.
And she feels very excited and happy to be back in a day like today, which is we're celebrating mujeres, all the women in the world, March 8th this year. She feels a special date.
Quiero pasar es muy largo, creo, 55 minutos el video, pero es importante porque es dentro de del mundo de la música y lo que significa la presencia de los afroperuanos en la música, el aporte a la cultura peruana. De eso se trata el video. Yo soy la persona que conduce, hay otros artistas, quizás podemos dejar una copia, veremos hasta un momento, ¿no?
She would like to start her presentation by showing all of you a video that talks about a bit of the contributions of Afro-Peruvians to the national identity, the national culture. It's a video that it's a bit long. It's about 55 minutes long. She won't show all of it, but like just a chunk of it, and so that you can have a better idea. There's several musicians that are part of this project, but she's kind of the leader. She's leading this video, so that's how she wants to start the presentation.
Volvemos hasta un punto.
She'll cut it where she feels you've seen enough.
Bueno, mientras estamos aquí juntos, yo quisiera comentarles que algo del trabajo que se hizo, y que la música ha servido muchísimo para no solamente mostrar la sabiduría del pueblo afroperuano,
She would like to share that some of the work that they've been doing, it's allowed them to show like the knowledge, all this knowledge that these culture, these people that form part of this culture have.
El tiempo pasado, hoy día escuchamos esta música en muchos lados, escuchamos esta música tocada por jóvenes músicos de otras, que son originarios más bien del mundo, ¿no? Ya no, aquí en este lugar están mezclados todos, hay mexicanos, hay guatemaltecos, hay salvadoreños, hay peruanos, hay colombianos, hay norteamericanos, y todos compartimos esta música y la tocamos.
She said that today, in today's world, we listen to this music, to Afro-Peruvian music everywhere in the world, and it's being played by different people with different backgrounds, nationalities, Salvadorians, Colombians, not just Peruvians, even Americans. And I think she was referring also to the musicians we have in the background. I think they're both come from Mexican heritage, and it's something that they all share and they all have in common. Like you can find it anywhere now.
Pero antes ¿cómo fue? Cuando yo estaba contando allí, cuando era niña, que esta música la escuchábamos solo los domingos, cuando las tías, los tíos se juntaban, mi padre tocaba la guitarra, mi madre bailaba muy bonito, y mis tías cantaban. Ese era el momento en que compartíamos esta música. Esta música no se oía en la radio, no se oía ni menos en la televisión.
And she says that before it wasn't like that. You wouldn't find this music it wasn't accessible. How was it? It pretty much, like she was telling on the video, she was telling the story that when she was a child, she would listen to this music every Sunday when she will go to the family gatherings, the family getting together, and her dad was a singer, her mom was a dancer, and her aunts used to sing also. So she wouldn't listen to it like on the radio, or even less like on TV. There was no such a thing, that she would just hear it from family, like in these family gatherings.
Era una música, una cultura poco mostrada por debajo de la mesa. Pasa el tiempo y la persistencia de la gente, el amar esta música, el estar latiendo cada día con la poesía y la música en todo el Perú, es que se mantiene con los años y llega hasta todos los rincones del mundo ahora.
This music, this culture had a very little exposure to the world, even within Peru. It was something that was practiced almost like underground. It wasn't done like you wouldn't just practice openly. And she believes that the reason why we see it now so spread out around the world and so like recognized is because of the persistence of these people that just had this love for the music and the poetry that is within this music, and that's how you're able to know today what Afro-Peruvian music is.
Esta música hace que los niños en sus hogares la aprendan como la aprendí yo, y después la vivan y la revivan cada vez que es posible hacerlo. Yo recuerdo mis primeros años tratando de ser escuchada, de grabar un disco, de transmitir lo que yo tenía para entregarle a la gente. Toda mi espiritualidad bajo la poesía, bajo la música. Y fue muy difícil, fueron años difíciles. Fueron años en que me dijeron, no, usted canta poesía. Está un poco chiflada porque la poesía la gente no la entiende y no la escucha y no la lee. Y fue la insistencia y fue creer profundamente en mis raíces que me llevó a porfiar y llegar hasta aquí.
This music allows children to it's something that they're able to learn in their homes, like she did, like just by listening to their parents or their grandparents play it. They just listen and they learned how to do, like to create or to play Afro-Peruvian music. And then they leave it and relive it, and whenever possible they're just constantly recreating this music that she remembers when she was beginning her career. She will try to get like a record out, like for someone to record her, or even for people to want to listen to her, to what she was singing, to her music. So that she could be able to transmit all these feelings and emotions, and like in her spirituality almost through this music. Her poetry, because she sang poetry and she still does. But it was really hard. People will tell her that no, like that it wasn't possible because she sang poetry, like she might be cuckoo, like nuts or crazy for doing this, that people do not understand poetry. They're not interested in this genre of music. Therefore, like a lot of doors were closed to her, but she believes that because of, again, the persistence, not giving up, believing in her roots and believing that this was something that she wanted to do, and this is why she's here today with all of you.
Y fue, perdón, fue algo que creo que todos los artistas que hacemos esta música, este trabajo, tenemos que hacer, o sea, mantener nuestra alma, nuestra raíz, y agregarle todo lo que toda la creatividad que podemos tener, que podemos compartir. Siento que mis inicios fueron, como digo, difíciles. Tuve muchas oportunidades y quisiera contar solamente una anécdota. Por ejemplo, me daban una canción y yo debería participar en un festival y estas personas que trabajan para los medios de comunicación o para la producción musical tradicional, de repente toman a un artista, toman a una joven, a un joven, y lo hacen traicionarse, lo deshacen, lo arman nuevamente. Y eso es muy difícil porque están atentando contra tu espíritu, tu centro, como persona, como ser. Decían que yo podía ganar ese festival con esta canción y discutían entre ellos cómo me debía vestir, qué me debía poner, entonces yo los dejaba que hablaran, porque bueno, hablar no cuesta nada. Entonces de pronto dijeron los zapatos. ¿Qué zapatos? Y yo dije, yo no uso zapatos, no me pongo zapatos, no canto con zapatos, no puedo. Entonces ellos se quedaron preocupados y pensando qué hacemos, ¿no? Esta mujer que no quiere poner los zapatos, que ya me habían diseñado el vestido y todo. Y entonces uno de ellos dice, del tercer mundo, son zapatos. A la hora de vender.
She believes that all like artists have to go through this. They have to do their career, their artist's career, one way or the other, being true to themselves, like being true to their own roots and their own souls. Not like the word comes to my mind, like selling out almost. That they have to get these roots and just add, like start creating from that, not try to do something that it's foreign to them. So her beginnings were really hard because she kept true to herself, like she never betrayed herself. She gives an example that she was invited to participate at this festival and she was given a song. and the people part of the, I guess, the marketing and publicity, and also the production team for the event that were working with her, took her, and as they do many like young artists, young musicians, and they sometimes like sacrifice or like betray their own identity by converting them in something that they're not, like just putting this front image. So she said that they took her and they told her, like, you can win this, you have the potential to win this festival, so let us figure what you're gonna wear, what dress you're gonna put on, and how you're gonna look. And she just would listen, she would just let them talk, because talking doesn't harm anyone. But she already knew what she was willing and not willing to do. So when they got to the point where they started talking about what shoes you're gonna wear, she said, no, I do not wear shoes when I sing. I've never done it, I'm not gonna do it. And it was almost like something outrageous that they heard, like they couldn't believe it. And she mentions that they were worried because how was her whole attire gonna be work out without shoes? They couldn't figure this out. So they mentioned they thought like, oh, like, can you imagine like a third world country performer without shoes? It just kind of fits this stereotype that we have in our heads, and that's where she left it.
Bueno, entonces esta música nos ha servido para llevar lo que es la esencia de nuestra tradición, y también innovando esta tradición, llevarla en todos los lugares y hacerlo sinceramente, honestamente, como lo sentimos. Esta música que la hemos heredado desde una tradición, resistió los años porque la gente tenía en el fondo de su espíritu esta relación con los ancestros, con el pasado. Yeah.
She believes that this music served us as like it allowed them to take the essence of this tradition, tradition that she comes from, and from there to start innovating and adding new things to it, and take it all over the world, take it wherever she goes. It's allowed her to do it in an honest way, being honest to herself and to her own feelings. The Afro-Peruvian peoples have inherited this tradition, this music, because it's survived, because it's so like it's in them. They can't be separated from it, and they have it in their souls.
La música sirvió también para recordar y para olvidar. Para recordar que tenemos un origen, y también para olvidar que este origen nos hizo sufrir demasiado, y que esta música que está ligada a nuestra historia, a la esclavitud, al desarraigo, al habernos desnaturalizado, también se preserva para aliviar esas heridas.
This music also served as a way to always remember, but also to forget. To remember that we have an origin, that we come from something, from somewhere, and that this origin, because of this origin, we suffered. This origin was linked to slavery, the dehumanization of African people during this time, but it's also allowed us to heal through this music by just healing through the pain and getting rid of the pain.
Y en esta búsqueda por todo el Perú, porque recorrí todo el Perú, buscando y entrevistando a viejos cantores a los que encontré, que desgraciadamente se habían muerto muchos y se habían llevado a la tumba muchas canciones, mucha poesía, muchas formas de tocar instrumentos. Pudimos rescatar el toque de la calabaza, por ejemplo, de un señor Tana Urbina, de 91 años, que lo entrevistamos, tocamos con él, canté con él, regresamos para mostrarle lo que habíamos aprendido. A los 3 meses y se había muerto. Nos entregó su herencia y se murió.
In this search for this music, she has traveled extensively throughout Peru, trying to interview, research, and find like the elders that have practiced this music for a long time. They inherited this from their ancestors, and she really couldn't find many because most of them have passed, and a lot of the music traditions, the rhythms, the songs, the poetry have disappeared with them. They were never able to pass it on to anyone. But she remembers that she was able to find this man. His last name was Urbina, and he played this gore that almost disappeared in Afro-Peruvian culture. No one really played it, but he's believed to be the last person, the last person that actually could play it. And they found him, and Susana and the people that she was working with were able to take lessons, like learn from him, like how you play this traditional instrument. And she sang with him, and they collaborated, and they went back to pursue this project, and they came back like 3 months later, and he had already passed. He passed away, and she feels that he died after he had passed on this tradition to her. So in a way, it allowed her to continue it, so that people now know how to play the gore.
Él me enseñó un golpe tierra. El golpe tierra es un ritmo muy antiguo del Perú. Se toca en la calabaza. Y él me enseñó esa canción. Dios me hubiera hecho la brisa del mar. Dios me hubiera hecho la brisa del mar. Para volverme patito, para nadar, para nadar. Y en esa tu lagunita me voy a ahogar, me voy a ahogar. Si te vas a pasear, me cuidarás el pie. Si te vas a pasear, me cuidarás el pie. Porque si no viene el agua te pico otra vez.
This man, Urbina, also taught her this rhythm, this Afro-Peruvian rhythm called golpe tierra. It's the stomping the earth, almost. Very rough translation. Sorry. It's a very, very old rhythm from the Afro-Peruvian culture, and he taught her this song that she just sang that very roughly was saying is that God gave him the breeze of the sea, and he was asking to become a little duck so that he could go and swim, and then later he will drown, and like someone will come and heal like the little, what do you call it, what ducks have? It's not a feet, the yeah. I'm sorry. It was, but that's it's just a really cute song.
Bueno, estos cantores nadie ni los habían entrevistado nunca, ni nunca aparecieron en la radio, ni nunca se murieron viejitos y allí con todas sus canciones y sus cosas. No era música importante para la radio, no era música importante ni una cultura importante para la televisión. Estábamos todos mirando qué pasaba más bien en los Estados Unidos, ¿no? Entonces nos perdimos muchas cosas. Y felizmente que algunas familias han guardado ese tesoro y lo siguen difundiendo, felizmente. Y es justamente después de esta lucha silenciosa, ¿no? Porque lo mismo sucede con la música campesina, con la música de los Andes. Si usted quiere escuchar una canción tradicional de la sierra en el Perú, tiene que levantarse a las 5 o 4 de la mañana, porque es recién a la hora que ponen esa música. Esa música no tiene espacio ni hablar al mediodía. Entonces, es eso, ¿no? que hace que el olvido ayude a llevarse nuestro tesoro, que es la música que expresa el alma.
She talks about these old singers, such as this man Urbina, that they were never like famous. No one interviewed them. No one was interested in knowing all their knowledge they had about this culture and this music. They died old, and they died with all this knowledge in their heads, and they were never given the attention that they deserved, and it wasn't important to the mainstream media or to the TV, the radio. It wasn't an important culture. It wasn't given like the place that it deserved. They were more worried about what was happening here in the U.S., so they didn't really pay attention to them. Gladly, some families did keep this treasure, this music, this tradition, and continue to practice it and divulge it like all over the world, and that way, like, this tradition is not dead today. She feels that the struggle continues, and that there's still that sense of certain cultures are less than others. She said a perfect example is with Andean music and other like folklore in Peru that is not given the importance that it deserves, if you want to listen on the radio like this type of music, you have to wake up very, very early in the morning, because those are the only times where they will play it. You will never listen to Andean music, Andean song, like on primetime TV or primetime radio. And this house, this is also caused by this amnesia, like we forget, like we don't really remember what this culture means to this bigger national identity.
Entonces, en lo que se refiere a mi trabajo, yo insistí en que esto es lo que siento y esto es lo que canto. Entonces, cuando me dijeron que la poesía no se vende, pero fue precisamente un poema que me abrió las puertas del mundo para escuchar música. Fue ese poema que me entregó el poeta César Calvo. Él lo escribió, y cuando Chabuca Granda estaba ya en sus... no sabía ella ni nosotros que pronto nos iba a dejar, ella le puso música, pero nunca lo cantó. Él me lo cantó, lo grabé en un cassette, lo trabajé con mis músicos, con los músicos que trabajaba en ese momento, y lo estrenamos un día como hoy, un 8 de marzo, en un gran festival que se hacía en el Perú, en la Concha Acústica del Campo de Marte, donde asistían todos los colectivos de mujeres, comedores populares, vaso de leche, todas las organizaciones. Seguramente en aquella época hubieran estado también las mujeres de maíz allí, compartiendo. Y era también un espacio, una tribuna donde yo podía cantar, porque como no podía ir a la radio, porque no me abría las puertas, no podía ir a la televisión, entonces ese festival significaba mostrar lo que hacías. Entonces había pintoras, mujeres dibujando, danza, teatro, todo. Era un gran festival, con comida, con todo, y había un lugar, por supuesto, para los niños, porque las mamás van con los niños. Entonces, allí un 8 de marzo nos paramos en el escenario y cantamos por primera vez este poema, María Landó.
So her work is the product of her consistent and persistent. She's been persistent. She has insisted that she's only gonna sing what she feels. That poetry is not for sale. She won't sell her poetry. That and poetry is something very special to Susana. Like a poem actually opened the doors to the world, to her. Like it was a poem that was written by César Calvo, and he had showed this poem to a great Peruvian composer. Her name is Chabuca Granda, and on her last days, she composed music for it, and she never got to actually sing the song or record it. She passed sometime, like a very short time after she composed the music for this poem. And César Calvo one day, when she was talking to Susana, told her about this poem and decided to sing it to her. So she heard this song, she recorded it, and then worked on it with her musicians. And she actually debuted. She sang this song for the first time on a day like this, in International Women's Day on March 8th, some time ago in Peru, at a festival, a great festival, a big festival. It was done in this huge venue in Lima, where it was like a gathering of women collectives from all over, food banks that were organized by women, and it was just a space for them to express themselves through their art, what they were doing. She said pretty much like Mujeres de Maíz, and if they were around back then in Peru, she's sure that they would have been part of it. And this was a place that allowed her to do what she wanted to do, to sing what she wanted to sing about, because she was not allowed to do so on the radio or on the TV. So it was a safe space for women to showcase their work in all types of media. There was painters, there were like cinematographers, there was like all kinds of different media being exposed there, and many different artists. There was also space for children, because the women will go with their children, and they also wanted to have fun, so they will have like an area for children to entertain themselves. So on March 8th, she sang this song for the first time.
Hoy día, especialmente para estar juntas, juntos y celebrar, están con nosotros Miguel y Alex de la Santa Cecilia. Nos faltan casi más de la mitad, pero ellos valen por mucho. Y estoy muy agradecida, me llena de felicidad de cantar con ellos.
This day is a special day, and we're all together here celebrating this special day. And she is here with Miguel and Alex from a band called La Santa Cecilia. She says that more than half of the band is actually missing, but they're here representing. And that she's extremely thankful, and she's just thankful for being here.
Mejor acá. ¿Ah? ¿No está bien? Ya. No, pero hice. ¿O para qué?
¿Está prendido? Sí.
¿Qué es muy ¡qué linda! ¿Quieres ser? ¿Quieres ser? La madrugada estalla como una estatua de alas que se dispersan por la ciudad. Y el mediodía canta campana de agua, campana de agua de oro que nos prohíbe la soledad. Y la noche levanta su copa larga, su larga copa larga, luna temprana por sobre el mar. pero para María no hay mediodía, pero para María ninguna luna. Alza su copa roja sobre las aguas. María no tiene tiempo,
María Lando,
de alzar los ojos. María de alzar los ojos.
María Lando,
Roto de sueño. María roto de sueño.
María Lando,
Solo trabaja. María solo trabaja. María solo trabaja y su trabajo es ajeno. María Lando, María Lando, María Lando, María Lando, solo trabaja.
María Lando,
Solo trabaja.
María Lando,
Solo trabaja.
María Lando,
Solo trabaja y su trabajo es ajeno.
she apologizes for she's feeling a bit under the weather today.
Se quedó mi voz en algún lado.
Sonaste maravilloso.
Bueno, muchas gracias. No sé si hay algunas preguntas, algo que quieran decir, que nos guste compartir, o si ya no tenemos que ir.
She thanks everyone for being here, and she wants to know if anyone has any questions or any comments, anything that you want to share. Also, she has CDs for sale. Can you raise your hand?
Can you, there's a table right there to set up all the merchandise.
So afterwards, you can, if you like to. But if there's any questions anyone wants to ask.
Hola, Susana. Me quería preguntar sobre la evolución espiritual que se mantiene con la música y más bien de las raíces africanas, ¿no? ¿Se practica una forma de espiritualidad con esta música? ¿Sí me entienden la pregunta?
Sí. Yo creo que es una conexión muy fuerte y yo la he vivido, he estado en lugares donde hemos tocado juntos con músicos africanos y ellos han sentido que nuestra música les pertenecía y también nosotros hemos sentido lo mismo. Y es una conexión realmente a través de los años y a través de la espiritualidad, porque es una memoria que está ahí en el cuerpo, en la voz. Yo he sentido que no en Sudáfrica, lo he sentido en el Congo, en todos estos lugares donde he ido a cantar y venir hasta adelante las señoras y hacernos un quiebre de cintura con nuestro festejo y bailarlo, y en el Brasil unir la voz, soltar la voz así, como una oración en una plaza, ¿no? Yo creo que es una conexión más allá de lo que se pueda, no sé, grabar, tocar, en fin. Es una conexión muy fuerte.
The question was about connections to the spirituality, and specifically within the African influence in this music, the African culture. I believe that was the question. And she responds that the connections are very much present. They're very strong. That she's played with African musicians that they were performing and playing. They felt, the African musicians felt that this music, this Afro-Peruvian music, belonged to them, and that the feeling was mutual also on her part. She felt that their music belonged to her too. So there's a connection that goes has been there through hundreds of years, and it's through the spirit. This music has a spirit, has a memory within the song, within the music, within the voice. She's been to South Africa, to Congo, and she felt this connection. And she saw it when they sang and they play a festejo, which is an Afro-Peruvian rhythm. And this women will come all the way to the front and start dancing and doing this like hip movements that were part of this culture, this the way you dance this festejo, and she saw it there. They'd never been to Peru, but they were dancing festejo, Afro-Peruvian festejo. And also she was in Brazil. She saw the uniting of many voices and singing and letting the voices flow and singing this music and sounding almost as if it was a prayer, so that she feels that these connections are there, and they go beyond just a simple recording of the music. It's beyond that.
So we have two questions here on the side.
¿Cuál? Muy contenta de estar acá. Quería preguntarte, soy peruana, ¿no? Quería preguntarte, te vi ayer, sí. Estaba muy emocionada. Quería preguntarte qué se siente ser el símbolo de la cultura peruana siendo mujer, y qué se siente, que me expreses, ¿no? Con tu emoción, qué se siente ser tan símbolo que personas como yo, blancas, ¿no? Quieren bailar, cantar y disfrutar la música negra y tal vez pasar por negro bailando, ¿no? Te cuento una anécdota. A mí me encanta la música negra, siempre me ha gustado. Estuve en Londres hace unos años en un festival celebrando nuestro día de independencia, ¿no? Y bailé y me dijeron, uy, esa es la blanca que parece que baila como negra. Y me sentí, dije, wow, ¿no? El símbolo que tú me has dado, ¿no? Que le has dado a la vida para nosotros los jóvenes, ¿no? Siendo mujer, siendo de tus raíces, ¿qué se siente ser el símbolo de esa cultura peruana?
Gracias por tus palabras, yo me siento orgullosísima. Imagínate tú que a mí mis tías, las tías conservadoras, me adiestraban para que yo no me mostrara negra. No sé cómo me podían enseñar una cosa así, no sé. Pero querían que yo ocultara el ser negra. Entonces, imposible. Entonces, apenas, y además la música para mí era algo, yo me iba detrás de los músicos y me hubiera perdido de mi casa seguramente si pasaba una comparsa de músicos y me iba detrás. Entonces, yo creo que En el Perú tenemos una relación de mezclas impresionantes. Yo siento, por ejemplo, la gran influencia que tiene sobre mí el ande. Yo siento que esa música melancólica y muy interior, que es la música andina en ciertos lugares, ¿no? A mí me conmueve demasiado. Y va más allá de de lo que reconozco como bello o esto, no, va más allá, es eso, sentir que se eriza la piel, que no puedes resistir. El oír esto así tranquilamente te afecta, te llena, se te va el aire, esa sensación, ¿no? Entonces, yo creo que nosotros, de alguna forma, hemos recibido todas esas influencias, todos. Cuando, conversando con una mujer que vive ahora en Chincha, trabaja ahí, han hecho de un lugar hermoso, han trabajado la tierra, han capturado los cerros, y esta mujer, cuando me cuenta, no, yo conté un episodio en el periódico justamente un 8 de marzo, las mujeres, entonces yo empecé a recordar a las mujeres afroperuanas, ¿qué fueron? Las mujeres afroperuanas fueron las amas de leche, fueron las que dieron que mamar, las que arrullaron, y cuando tú cuentas, encuentras a un señor muy blanco, de ojos azules, que recuerda cosas de su niñez a raíz de esta transmisión cultural que le hicieron las mujeres negras en el Perú. Entonces, nada raro que de pronto salga esa otra cultura que te fue dada, bebida en la niñez, ¿no? Y compartida felizmente en la niñez.
Okay. The question, it was a very, very deep, like emotionally charged question, so I'm sorry if I don't do justice. She asked what was the symbol, how she felt with being like the symbol representing this Peruvian culture, this Peruvian identity to the world. She said that for young people like her, especially her, like she considers herself a white Peruvian. Like whenever she hears Susana, it wants to make her be like of African descent. And she said a little anecdote where she was traveling through London, I guess, and she was dancing to Afro-Peruvian music, and someone referred to her as the white girl that danced like a black girl. You know, she moved so good, and she was very honored to be called that. So she just wanted to know how what she felt like being like this symbol of representing this culture. Susana feels proud, but she said it's something, an anecdote there, that her aunts growing up used to taught her or try to teach her how to hide her blackness almost, and she's like, well, that's pretty much impossible, you know, but they were attempting to teach her how to do that. The music, it was something that she couldn't, like she was so in love with this music that she said, like if a comparsa, if a group, a company of musicians would pass by her house, she would have followed them and gotten lost. She wouldn't be able to find her. She says that in Peru they have there's a deep relationship between like the different races. There's a deep mestizaje, mixed of all this mixes of races all over the place, and herself, like she feels she has a great influence. She's being influenced greatly by the Andes, by this culture that inhabits this area in Peru, and this like melancholic music that is very deep and has a very sentimental topics and melodies. But she's taken by this music that it goes beyond to what she considers beautiful music. That this music affects her like physically. She gets goosebumps and she loses her breath when she listens to this music. But she feels that everyone has the like different influences in them. She said that one day, like actually for March 8th newspaper article, she was trying to talk about what Afro-Peruvian women were and what was their history, and she talked about how they were in charge of breastfeeding the children. That's what they did during the slavery years, and so she talked about this man that narrates an experience that he felt that he had inherited this music or given this culture because he was breastfed by a black woman. So it's something that was passed on to him, even though he was white, blue eyes, and no Afro heritage whatsoever. But this culture was passed on to him through the breast milk of an African woman, so that she feels that even though we might be white and we might have like different races and ethnicities within ourselves, like we still have this groups heavily influenced by all these cultures that surround us.
No solamente las mujeres durante la época de la esclavitud. Mi abuela fue ama de leche.
She makes a clarification. I was wrong. Not only during the slavery years, the black women were the breastfeeding children. Wet nurses. That's what they were called. Wet nurses. New term, like that. But also, like her aunt, tu tía, no? Her grandmother was actually a wet nurse, and she was not a slave. So it went beyond that era.